Game na? Okay. Welcome to the podcast where two engineers talk about life, education, and such. Hi everyone, I am Engineer Delmir Diaz.
And I am Engineer Carlos D. And this is.
Inhinyero podcast. Cas.
Okay, I think that's enough, bud.
Okay. I think it's weird though. Anyways, for our new viewers and listeners out there who are still wondering why our podcast is named like that, you better check our very first episode to find out.
Yes, you better check it out in YouTube and also check our social media accounts to notify about our next podcast episodes.
Yeah, anyway, let's not talk about that, but what's new, and by the way?
Well, a lot of people were interested with our last episode. We talk about what it's like being an electrical engineer, right? And I mentioned how I wish we can invite an industrial engineer like me. I was surprised that a lot of people were interested too.
Oh, really? And you said that as a joke only, right? Anyways, let's hear their comments in our YouTube channels, Twitter. Wow, that's many. Anyways, cuties, they got curious.
Yeah, right. And us being obedient with our fans.
Wow, as being a vigilant with our fans. Kidding. Anyways, let's have some recap what we talked with our last episode. Well, but we invited some guests and talk about being electrical engineering, what they do. Well, what I do since electrical engineer here, we talk how we plan and design electrical equipments. We also mentioned how are we being professional during meetings, of course. We also said our struggles when there is a problem with site, when every time we supervise. But yeah, enough with that, but because we should really start our new episode tonight. And with that being said, how many guests we have tonight, bud?
Yes, bud. And we have a total of six guests today.
Wow, that's many, that's new. And well, take note, we got them with the help of social medias.
Yeah, right. That's the power of social media nowadays. And anyways, let's not wait any longer. Let's introduce our first set of guests.
Okay, bud. And here's Ezekiel and Frederick, our two industrial engineering students. Please open your cameras. Right. Okay, let's just wait for Mr. Frederick. Oh, right. There.
Right.
There you are. Please introduce yourself and greet our viewers and listeners, students.
Yes, my name is Ezekiel Johnson. And thank you for having me today.
Oh, first you, what a pretty names, huh? And oh, by the way, which university you guys are from? And what year?
Just like Frederick here, I am also a first year student studying in TIP.
Oh, first year IE students ACU. Well, guys, how's life in industrial engineering so far?
For me right now, I think it's great. Being a student in general, I just try to do my best to every task given to me and I try to make sure to submit all of them in time.
Okay,
Have
thank you
you
so much.
experienced? Thank you.
Oh, Yeah. Oh, to be an engineering students have felt that, done that. But anyways, I know you guys can do that and just have fun. Well, struggles are normal, but of course, you should think solutions for that. But of course, still having fun. Anyways, thank you for sharing your struggles and experiences with us.
Wow, I can't wait for them to graduate. Well, anyways, bud, we're not done yet. We still have four guests, and this will be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let us introduce them now, but two students, please stay there because I know you will have fun listening with our engineers later. Anyway, let's introduce them. But
Yeah, yes, let me introduce the four IE graduates. First, we have Engineer De La Paz, Engineer Carillo, Engineer Galit, and Engineer Makilan.
wow, okay, right. Good evening, engineers. You know what? I think I think it is meant to be to have an industrial engineering students as guests, and now we have an IE graduates as well. And you know, before we decide who will be our guest tonight, I saw this article about five industrial technology trends to look out for 2022. And after I saw that article, my bad right here, Engineer D and I decided we should invite them and know their thoughts about that article that I know you already read that. And yeah, here we are right now. I hope this will be fun and I know it will be.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right, bud. And since we're done talking with the students, we are here right now with UIE grads, and we want to talk about the article we found, and we want to hear your thoughts.
Oh my god, bud. I am also curious about their thoughts, but I am also curious about your thoughts because you are an IE graduate also. Anyways, here's my questions. What are your thoughts, engineers, with the said article earlier? And let's start with Engineer Maki.
Yes. Well, I do agree with the article that those are the trends, just like the metaverse. That it, the idea behind it is that it is it's connecting the real and virtual world, and we can see that it is can affect the manufacturing of this new revolution. We can expect the use of this advantage to create product designs, product developments for faster and easier. As we can test it first on how it is safe and efficient to use before recreating it and reduce the risk of failure and in building the products before physical manufacturing begins. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Makilan, about your thoughts, and Engineer Galit, how about you?
Yes, thank you, Mr. D. And by the way, again, I am Engineer Sarah Galit. And in connection to what Engineer Makilan said about the article, of course, in industrial technology, the automation and robotics are included. These have transformed the manufacturing and engineering sectors. With the help of advanced technology, it enables businesses to automate their systems and process in ever more intelligent ways. And one of these is to reduce waste, increase productivity, improves safety, and becomes more efficient. And this process automation, which is driven by technology and robotics, will keep pace in 2022 because the coronavirus pandemic brought the need to work smarter and leaner into sharp focus from warehouses and logistics to energy and construction. Businesses will continue to invest in automation and robotics to work smarter, safer, and more sustainably. That's it.
Thank you, Engineer Galit, and Engineer Carillo.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me today. My name is Engineer Carillo. For our next topic, it's called green technology. For a while now, The world has been making efforts into making our technologies green and sustainable. With the threat of global warming and other problems that unchecked this technology is bringing, it's great that businesses are finally realizing that investing more on green tech will be a lot more worthwhile in the long run, as they're more sustainable and have less chance on being struck down by future regulation policies. It also really helps that more and more customers are being green conscious, which helps business owners even further to start making changes. I mean, we all need to start doing our part to save the earth, one step at a time.
Thank you, Engineer Carillo and Mr. De La Paz.
Evening, everyone. Thank you, Engineers D and Diaz, for having me as well. I'm Engineer De La Paz, and I'll be introducing and sharing my thoughts on the next technology trend, which is Industry 4.0. I would like to start my topic with a bit of history. In the history of humanity, we have gone through three industrial revolutions that have transformed our modern society. From the first industrial revolution, the mechanization, through through steam power and water, and the assembly lines and mass production in the second, using electricity, and the rise of technology in the third. Industry 4.0 represents the fourth revolution that has occurred in manufacturing. The fourth industrial revolution will take what was started in the third with the adoption of computers and automation and enhance it with smart and autonomous systems using data and machine learning. Basically, Industry 4.0 is all about data and automation, and it's going to blur the lines between the physical and digital worlds where all of our devices are going to be interconnected, and it's going to share information between themselves to make decisions without human involvement. I think this is good for manufacturers and engineers because by embracing Industry 4.0, manufacturers can position themselves as a smart factory where devices exchange data across factory floors to make stronger and evidence based conclusions. With this, factories can boost efficiency, optimize spending, and reduce waste. And I think the downside of this is that it could leave half the world unemployed, like here in the Philippines, where the unemployment rate is high and it's still getting tougher to find jobs. Though new jobs will be created in the new industry, I am kind of worried that jobs are going to be destroyed at a much faster rate. But let's all hope for the best.
Ew.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Engineer De La Paz. And the last one is the cross-sector collaboration. I think this will benefit all business across the world because it helps even the small business, and technologies will also help to collaborate better.
Wow. A lot of information, ha. Thank you very much, engineers, for sharing your thoughts and knowledge. And I hope our listeners and viewers have learned a lot and they had fun. But anyways, since we had two industrial engineering students earlier that still here watching and listening right now with you engineers, what advices can you give to our future industrial engineers?
My advice would be to work on your goals and manage your time effectively.
And for me, we all know that engineering program is one of the hardest. That is why my advice to them is to strive to understand and don't merely memorize. Instead, increase your depth of understanding.
For future engineering students out there, I just have one advice. Stop procrastinating and start advanced reading. You can never really have enough advanced reading considering that engineering is a really tough program.
And my advice for Mr. Frederick and Mr. Ezekiel is to join study groups, especially if they find some subjects hard. because if they don't have a basic under if they don't have an understanding of the basics, it will be very hard for them to advance on the next lessons.
Thank you, engineers, for your wonderful advice to the students. And what this engineer said are true because I also experienced all of that. Well, anyways, thank you again, engineers, to the two students earlier. We really appreciate all of you having this conversation with us.
Thank you, Mr. D and Miss Diaz, for having us today. We enjoyed our time here.
Yes, thank you, Mr. D and Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, everyone.
I'd like to say thank you for learned a lot today as students. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much, engineers and students. Um, but but I had fun talking with all of them, and I hope our viewers and listeners out there, I hope they also had fun and learned something, especially those studying future industrial engineering. Anyways, but our episode tonight is such a nice topic. Well, we talked about your field, just like our last episode. We talked about my field, and it's exciting. And talking with our guests, sharing their advices with future co-engineers. It's fun and exciting.
Yeah, you're right, Bud. And I also hope that this episode will be the inspiration of our viewers.
Yes, you're right. But we're not only professional in our own field, ha? Imagine we have this podcast as our hobby only, but look at this. We share a lot of informations that they can use, that are very useful. It's like we're giving them free seminars. But
Yes,
anyways, that's it for tonight's episode, you guys. And thank you for listening and watching. And just tell us everything you want us to do, and we will give it to you.
yes. And thank you for the viewers and the fans of our podcast. And till our next episode, again, this is
Inhinyero Podcast. Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us on our social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all. Thank you again for listening and watching. See you in our next live
thank you.
podcast. Bye bye.